C. Joseph Vijay has taken oath as the Chief Minister of Tamil Nadu along with 9 ministers. I have with me Kasturi Shankar, who's been an actor as well as someone who is a prominent BJP voice now in Tamil Nadu as well. What is your immediate reaction to this kind of a mandate and the drama that the run up to his swearing in ceremony?
First off, let me begin by heartily congratulating our new Chief Minister, C. Joseph Vijay, and his young, new, fresh team of ministers. As the days pass, we will have a complete idea of who the rest of his ministers as well as his administrative team are going to be. But even today, there were things that stood out. For instance, the sartorial choices that he made. We have always seen a chief minister swearing in the traditional Tamil attire of Veshti Satta, which is the dhoti and shirt. Today it was all corporate. Tamil Nadu.
He was nattily dressed.
He was very dapper, and his entire team as well. I don't remember if there were any dhotis on stage at all. And I believe the lone female incumbent today to take oath, Ms. Kirtana, she's one of the younger winners. She used to, I remember her first public appearance, which was 3 months ago, on a television debate with me. And she was asking for advice about standing independently. And I remember giving her the numbers of certain TVK leaders at that time. So how quickly how quickly the seasons change, so to speak. So that is a perfect example of the sweeping change that has come into Tamil Nadu. First time a non-Dravidian party has been in power. Also, this first time a non-Dravidian party has been in power, not just on its own, has also brought Congress back to power. If you remember, Kamaraj lost to Anna in 1967, and now we are back where it all started. Congress is back in power. Nobody bet on this.
So National Party coming back to power in Tamil Nadu in whatever way that it managed is good news for the BJP?
No. If the Congress is in power, that is definitely not good news for the BJP. That is definitely not in anybody's plans. Frankly, it's not even good news for Tamil Nadu. There is a reason why the Congress was shunted out of Tamil Nadu historically. It was seen as the party of the elites, which had zero connection with the actual public, with the masses. And Anna had the pulse of both the educated new generation as well as the working population, right? So today, Vijay is seen as the voice of those masses with aspirations. This is an aspirational victory for the people of Tamil Nadu who have in the past been stereotyped by leaders like Tirumavalavan, who profess to be leading the oppressed classes, but actually he was kind of straitjacketing the oppressed classes into a stereotype, which was not giving them any respect, social respect.
Now the TVK has more number of MLAs from the SC community, in fact.
Yes, and the reason not just, these are people who have won from general constituencies.
4 of them at least from
Let's not forget that as long as the DMK was in power, it did not give its ally, VCK, much limelight in general places. The attitude was that you're a reserved community, you stay in your reserved constituencies. VCK has been one of their bone of contention for the past several years, even within the alliance, where they keep saying, will you give me only a plastic chair? Will you give me only a reserved seat?
Did it surprise you that, there is a lot of speculation that there is a hard bargaining going on, but they ultimately offered unconditional support?
No. I think unconditional, we will soon know what the real meaning of the word unconditional is. There are no free lunches. Congress, which gave unconditional support on the night of the 4th, quickly modified its support as we are going to be part of the government. Now, with Mr. Thirumavalavan, in these last 4 days, everybody started talking about the kind of blood bargaining that he was doing, the pounds of flesh that he was trying to extract. So I think after word got out, I think he's going for some optics right now. Also because his left hand is with the DMK and his right pinky finger is with the TVK. So he's kind of bridging both gaps. He doesn't know which way he needs to go.
That's where my next question comes with the CPI, CPM, IUML, and VCK saying that we are still with the DMK alliance. So, are you concerned that this could be the remote control could be in Mr. Stalin's hand still, and that he could be some form of a super CM then?
No, I'm convinced of that. I'm convinced of that. Look at this. It's, in one famous movie, we had this comedy scene, no? Maapla avarda, satai enadu. So, he is the bridegroom, but uska sharwani to mera hai. That is what Stalin should be saying right now. He's probably laughing back home in the fursat that he has got now that he doesn't even have MLA duties to carry out. He has all his time to sit and play puppeteer, to play the sutradar. He holds all the strings. He holds all the cards. VCK has publicly acknowledged that they owe their loyalty to him. The communists have said we remain in the SP alliance, but we will, we just don't want the BJP to come in. I don't see how the BJP can still be an excuse, but they cannot say ADMK because then that would defeat the Dravidian ethos. So they hide behind the BJP and fear mongering that has worked for them in the past. So they have actually clearly said it. The IUML actually changed its mind more times than a heroine in a song sequence. They said yes. Then they said, no, we never meant yes. The yes meant no. Then they said it's a maybe. Then they said we are with Stalin. Now they are saying we are with Vijay, but we are actually with Stalin. So I think it's, serials mein kehte hai na, at some point they will change the actor playing a role. Role will remain the same. Inke badle ye, aaj se. So that way, now the alliance is the same. You take out DMK and you factor in the TVK and the alliance remains the same. Only the central figure has changed. So
Stalin has said that for 6 months, I'm not going to disturb him. So,
Stalin says so many things, none of which he keeps. Nobody takes Stalin's statement seriously. He also doesn't take it seriously. That's why you saw so much horse trading in the last 4 days. Even their own allies don't take him seriously, right? So, in fact, if he says something, we know that he will definitely do the opposite of what he says. I see that the party itself, the DMK itself, I won't be surprised if the factions start coming out into the open. So,
wouldn't that be more true for the ADMK then?
Absolutely. Absolutely. The ADMK has much to fear because with the DMK, they are supporting, indirectly albeit, they are supporting this Vijay's new government because they need to stay at least indirectly in touch with power. People say that they don't want re-election, which is true because Vijay's MLAs spend, few lakhs, maybe a few crores for election. But these guys, both ADMK and DMK, these MLAs have spent upwards of 5-10 crores. I hear figures like 40 crores in places like Karur and Kovai, Terku. So there is a lot of money riding on their MLA seats. They will not be able to afford a re-election. But it's not that they are trying to avoid a re-election. They are trying to avoid going to prison. Again, this applies more to the DMK ministers, ex-ministers, than to the ADMK. The ADMK has been out of power for 5 years, so they've been hungry. And they still remain hungry, which is very unfortunate. I believe that some of the calls made by Mr. Edapadi have completely backfired on him. And the factions in the ADMK, it's not future tense. They will come to the fore. No, they are already in the fore. We are already looking at CV Shanmugam and an entire meeting being gathered in the aftermath of EPS's
attempt to.
EPS's open announcement of rather, we could say, a civil surrender. He said, I wish whoever is in government, and immediately they had a meeting under a different leader. The ADMK is going to find it very, very difficult to keep itself cohesively only because they have stayed out of power. They've never stayed out of power for more than 5 years. Never. Number one. Number two, they've never not had a single charismatic, all empowering leader to guide them. So they've always been able to hold on to that charisma, and they've always been able to come back to power. So that is why I feel you've never seen the chinks in their armor. Now it's going to be an issue. And I think when Stalin said 6 months, he's not just talking about Vijay, he's talking about ADMK as well. Nobody's a saint in TVK. I'm very skeptical about how that's going to, just before this interview, we had a bunch of youngsters here and we both spoke to them, and they are so scared to come on camera. They all are vocal with their views, but they don't want to come on camera. That is how afraid they are of people in power. What does that say if Vijay, as an X factor with unknowns in his ministers and team of IAS officers and police officers, we don't even know who they are. And the young generation is saying, young educated college students are saying, no, we don't want to come on camera because who knows what will befall us. And I can tell you, I'm not making this up. She was there. We were trying to get people to give a reaction, and people are afraid.
There is a big number of people who have been politicians. I mean, whether it is Mr. Sengotian or JCD Prabhakaran.
It's not just, 41 people among the 107 that have won have criminal cases on them, which are in different stages of getting to a verdict. So we don't know how many of them will actually get disqualified, because there is a fair chance that many of them may get convicted for their crimes. So, and there is of course a very famous face, Mr. Sengotian, very famous face, Adav Arjuna, very famous face, Nirmal Kumar. All of these people were noted for their participation in one of the two Dravidian parties. They're all from either the DMK or the ADMK or both. In the case of Mr. Nirmal Kumar, he also has BJP in his kitty. So JCD Prabhakaran, who is my Thousand Lights MLA, he's my MLA, and I wish him all the best, because he actually he comes from a political family. His father was in power. He himself was in various forms of power. Today he is an MLA for my constituency. What is he going to do differently?
So you're saying it's not really a new team in that sense, even though you welcomed the new team in the beginning.
No, there are many new faces, and the inexperience shows. The inexperience shows every time there is a crisis for their party. Everybody's either disappeared, completely shut down, radio silence from TVK. Now, one can conjecture that being in power and not having to fear the powers that be, because you are the powers that be, perhaps may change things. I was extremely moved by Mr. Vijay's swearing in speech. It's the same oath of ceremony that everybody takes, but he didn't take it, he delivered it extempore. He did not.
At least the first half was extempore. Yeah.
Yes, which was wonderful to see. I mean, he was there and he was speaking from his heart. He had the speech completely memorized, and I think that sends a message. At least that sends a message of much more sincerity than anybody who would read from a piece of paper, because you realize that, yeah, you've lived it in your head so many times. So maybe you're ready. Maybe. That said,
maybe he's a good performer also.
Well, there have been other actors that we have seen in Tamil Nadu politics, not to mention the rest of South India. I believe that anyone who is preparing for office would have had it replayed in his head, any number of times. But you're right, he doesn't forget his lines. So not even when he's stressed. He's a good performer.
You started off by saying about the sartorial choices that they made for this. Does that indicate that, in Tamil Nadu, that feeling that you must be as Tamilian as possible, that is something you hold your culture, your language, everything very close to your heart. So is this a moving away from something like that when you're saying the Veshti Chattai was given up for a sartorial Western attire?
No, I actually think it's a message to the rest of the country on what you can expect from Vijay and his team. You do not have to keep proving your Tamilness. To be very, very honest, Vijay is a lot more Tamil, unequivocally, indubitably Tamil than our previous dispensation. So I got into trouble by, elucidating on that point before, but I will leave it at that. His Tamilness does not have to be proved. Uh, he also has donned many different looks in his movies. So he is very.
Why was he so different from the others who did not succeed as much as he did?
I think because people hated the DMK. When Kamal Hassan came into the picture, the DMK was the the uh, the anti. What's the word for it? What's the word for somebody who actually fights, speaks up?
They were the opposition, first of all.
No, the protester, right? When Mr. Kamal Hassan came into the electoral politics, the anti-incumbency was not as polarizing as it is now. DMK has made sure that anybody who actually convinced the voters that they would be the right replacement for this regime, they would win. ADMK failed to harvest that opportunity. Edapadi's campaign for the last 5 years was silent and soft, while Mr. Vijay in the last 2.5 years has been quite visible. In part, I'm not going to say he was not silent. He is the silentest politician we have seen. He never spoke up when 41
Was he
people
the
died.
same way in the film world as well, since you are from cinema as well?
He's an introvert, but that doesn't matter in the film world because when it comes to action, he delivers a flawless performance. So let's surmise that when you didn't speak up for 41 people who died in your rally, you didn't speak up when your own movie was docked. You didn't speak up in the last 4 days when entire Tamil Nadu was speaking about you, speaking for you. I believe that now the magic word has been spoken. It's time for action. So maybe now you will deliver a flawless performance without the need for a retake.
So, what are your friends in the film world saying about this kind of a performance and coming to power?
Nobody expected it. To be very honest, I have lots of friends in the TVK as well, including some of them who have now become ministers. Nobody expected it. They all thought they are going to be a large enough force to be able to be the kingmaker, but now they are the kings, and the ball is in their court. They didn't prepare for this scenario. Nobody knows what they're going to do next. Never mind the people. They themselves don't know. As far as the film fraternity is concerned, to be very honest, we are relieved. We are happy. We are happy that one of us has come back and one of us who understands the industry's needs is there. So we hope for a sympathetic year. And this again, not as a BJP spokesperson, but as a film fraternity. This is what I have to say is we hope for a sympathetic year from Vijay's ruling dispensation. But more than that, we are relieved that the monopoly, the shackles that the film industry in Tamil Nadu was facing has, I think it's broken. I think it will go the way, because when Amma Jayalalitha was in power, the stranglehold that a television channel, a producer, and a distributor had on Tamil industry was consummate. And they vanished as soon as Amma came back into power. One hopes for such a liberative situation this time around. That is why even people in the opposition are able to actually welcome Vijay, because we're rid of the DMK.
finally, expectations are going to be high. Every time Vijay has been attacked in this run up to the election, people have actually come to his defense, whether whatever the attacks on Vijay. But now, is he going to function like everyone else, or is there something that he needs to deliver first?
You know, there's two ways to see this. One is with the kind of hodgepodge alliance that he has, patched up, it's going to be very difficult to get any work done. This is not an absolute mandate. Every time anybody tries to do something, there are going to be lobbies against it. And we all are, let's just say again and again, we all suspect that Stalin will actually be making decisions, and it's really up to Vijay to prove us wrong. Every time there is a Christian influence suspected, that will become an issue, because very visibly people against Vijay have started noticing that from top down, nearly everyone has a Christian connection. Now, we are not against any religion, but we are also against any religion actually relegating people's needs under the under the ideals of one faith. What DMK said about Madhavadam, communal and religious politics, they used it as their political card against the BJP. How is this going to work out when the same kind of situation, DMK had it, DMK had the Muslim League and the Christian Nallana Iyakam with them, so they are hypocritical. But it's a clear and present question. It's a question, are you going to go one way or the other? Because all these people have been waiting and maybe facilitating your rise to power. Yesterday, I see a news about some cult in the USA, some church in the USA, celebrating the prophecy that has cometh true. So these are a little bit scary, that even within one day of Vijay coming to power, he is being identified as a Christian chief minister. I don't think so. I don't think that should be. But he is being identified by interest groups. There will be other interest groups who will identify him with movies, perhaps. There will be other interest groups who will identify him by his caste, perhaps. But these are real questions. And I can only say the flip side of the coin is, if he does well, he can claim that it is his doing. And if he does badly, he can blame it on his allies.
Thank you so much, Kasturi.
Thank you.
So, yes, while the questions are being raised about these concerns about certain groups, but yes, for now, the celebration that Vijay can be Joseph Vijay and can declare himself to be Joseph Vijay, and yet the vote for him was not based on any religion, caste, or even gender. That is at least a welcome step at this stage. In Chennai, with camera person Paul Raj, Uma Sudhir for Decoder.